The big news.
But by God, the one for cutting up the ground and throwing it off is a person.
Report from wherever the news happens. Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for the earliest and most comprehensive news report.
How agriculture has ruined the U.S. When people think about what built America, they usually picture steel, highways, or cities. But honestly, it was farming. And let me explain why. Somewhere along the way, farming stopped being about food and started being about control. When modern agriculture took off after World War II, the U.S. went all in. Tractors replaced people, chemicals replaced soil, farms got bigger, but farmers got fewer. By the 1980s, most small family farms were either swallowed by agribusiness or forced to just sell out to survive. Today, 4 companies control about 85% of the beef market, and just a handful dominate seeds, fertilizer, and distribution. It's not just the people who lost, it's the land. Over half of all US land is now used for agriculture, and most of it doesn't even grow food for people. Around 40% of American corn becomes ethanol for cars, another third feeds livestock, and less than 10% ends up directly on our plates. The rest, exported or wasted. Meanwhile, millions of acres of native prairie and forest have been cleared to plant endless rows of corn and soy, 2 crops that dominate modern US farming like nothing else. This system is efficient on paper but brutal in reality. To keep yields high, farms dump millions of tons of fertilizer and pesticides each year, chemicals that wash off in the rivers, poisoning ecosystems and creating dead zones where nothing can live. The biggest one in the Gulf of Mexico now stretches thousands of square miles, fueled by runoff from the Mississippi Basin. And then there's soil. Good soil isn't just dirt, it's alive, full of microbes and nutrients. But industrial farming treats it like a machine. Till it, plant it, drench it, and repeat. Each year we lose about 5 tons of topsoil per acre, which can take centuries to rebuild naturally. In places like the Midwest, it's disappearing faster than anywhere else on the earth. The same goes for water. The Ogallala Aquifer. Excuse the butchering, but I couldn't really figure out how to say it. Okay, Ogallala, is that correct? Anyways, it supports 1/5 of all US crops, which is drying up faster than it can be replaced. Some areas could run out of usable groundwater within a generation. And here's the thing, this isn't just an environmental issue, it's cultural, it's economic, it's personal. Rural America has been hollowed out. Since the 1950s, over half of all farming jobs have vanished. Towns that once had grain elevators, repair shops, and diners are just empty shells. When one company owns 20,000 acres and runs it with 5 workers and some GPS-guided tractors, there's no room left for community. Meanwhile, the food system this created, is broken. Cheap corn means cheap processed food. Cheap processed food leads to massive health problems. The US spends over $300 billion a year treating diseases linked to diet, obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, all while subsidizing the crops that fuel them. So we're paying for it twice, once at the grocery store, and again through our taxes and healthcare. What's wild is that the people trying to fix it, the regenerative farmers, the small organic growers, the local co-ops, are doing it on the edges of a system designed to shut them out. Big Ag receives the subsidies, water rights, and market access. Small farmers get the scraps. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Modern agriculture didn't ruin America by accident. It was a choice. A system built to make food cheap and profits high. No matter what it did to the soil, the water, or the people growing it. Until we stop treating the land like a factory and start treating it like a living system, nothing really changes. Because right now, America grows a lot of food, but the real question is, what's left when the soil can't grow anymore?
I'm going to introduce you to a rather remarkable man. He's Mr. Michael Fitzpatrick from Killarney, Maynooth. Now, he started to draw the old age pension in 1927, and 7 years ago he got the President's Bounty on his 100th birthday. Now, he's from County Clare. He came up from Clare in 1940 to a land commission farm in Maynooth, where he lives now. You have seen a lot of changes, Mr. Fitzpatrick, in farming. What would you say was the biggest change?
Well, machinery.
And what sort of a machine would you think that made the biggest impression?
Well, well, the reaper and binder's a great one, and no awful different safety anyway. Because the combiners is going one start of the day, is that the reaper and binder wouldn't be enough week.
Now, you also remember, I think, a rather historic thing in the land history of this country, the Bodyke evictions.
I know.
Could you describe for us what happened at those evictions? You were at them.
I was at one of them for about 5 hours. One day.
And what happened?
That was very cruel. They threw out children and women on the road. Well, there was one of them thrown out one day I was in it, and the baby was only about 3 days old. And they were thrown on the bank of the Wofford Valley. It was cruel.
And how about the type of food you had to eat at that time, Mr. Fitzpatrick? What did you live on?
Well, we had to live on there a long time on an engine made on flour.